Since Tesla's launch in 2003, the company has been on a steady path towards the domination of not just the EV industry, but potentially the automobile industry. The company has faced little threat in the form of opposition. However, Apple's decision to release an electric vehicle of their own has made us unsure of Tesla's chances at sustaining their monopoly in the long run.
We have confirmed from multiple sources that Apple is in discussions with Hyundai Kia to build an Apple car.
On the surface, it appears as though this will be the average slugfest between huge tech companies. But if you look a little closer, you can clearly see a cold war brewing between these giants. Let's dive a little deeper. Elon Musk is currently the richest man in the world, and according to some experts, the richest man in history. Though Elon runs several companies, the bulk of his wealth comes from his electric vehicle company Tesla, which basically dominates the entire industry. Musk founded Tesla in 2003, and since then it has become an EV giant that is responsible for 64% of the electric cars on the road. Now that the company is preparing to drop the Tesla Roadster, which is a frighteningly efficient car, things look even more grim for its competitors. That being said, the alternatives to Tesla vehicles are working hard behind the scenes to catch up to the EV giant, and Apple in particular has presented itself as an obstacle to Tesla's continued monopoly and potentially their most formidable rival.
Apple?
Yeah, that'll be more direct.
You can tell that by the hiring pattern and that
absolutely.
kind of stuff? Yeah. So what do you, okay, so they're going to be more direct. How do you assess it?
I mean, I say I think it's great that they're doing this, and I hope it works out.
Now, all is fair in love and war, and on a normal day, this sudden rivalry should be celebrated as a healthy step in an industry that people and the climate depend on for the creation of a more sustainable and efficient future. But if you dig deeper beneath the surface of this rivalry, there seems to be a bitter history of envy and resentment between the two companies. And it becomes apparent that these companies aren't just looking to outdo each other, but are instead attempting to destroy one another. But what started this feud, and what are the signs that show that it is taking place? In 2017, Tesla experienced what is now remembered as one of the darkest periods in the company's history. The development of the Tesla Model 3 was not going as planned, and the company was bleeding money, and Elon had no idea how to fix this. This prompted him to meet up with Elon Musk over a potential deal, which would see Apple acquiring the car company for $60 billion. Apple CEO Tim Cook refused to meet with him and failed to even acknowledge his existence, which meant Tesla's period of crisis would continue indefinitely. Ultimately, it lasted for 6 months, during which Elon resorted to sleeping on the roof of the factory so he could always be present to help solve problems.
Where do you sleep tonight?
Tonight's in the factory.
Elon was able to lift Tesla out of this hellish phase and would go on to enjoy increasing success, but he never forgot Apple's neglect. As soon as Tesla's success became obvious to the world, Apple began to eye the car company and see them as a potential threat. This is because Apple's EV project, dubbed Project Titan, had been in development since 2014 and suffered significant delays due to leaders within the company underestimating the complexity of such a product. And as Tesla continued to gain ground in the industry, Apple became more aware of how quickly its window of opportunity in the EV industry was closing. To solve this, Apple decided to take the task of constructing a highly valuable electric vehicle seriously. Meanwhile, Apple's decision to produce electric vehicles alarmed Tesla for a number of reasons. First of all, Apple has more than enough funds for such an ambitious project and can easily access the best resources and skilled professionals to help them realize their goals. Secondly, they have a history of entering industries and triggering a scaling up in new technologies, which in turn leads to the expansion of said markets and a much larger customer base for the company's network of products. To say that Apple is equipped for this battle would be an understatement. However, the idea that Apple can storm their way into the electric vehicle industry and take over seems inconceivable for now, especially when you consider Tesla's success and their potential for continued growth. That being said, there is no doubt that Apple will pose a real threat to Tesla, and Tesla is not happy about this, not in the least. Tesla does have two huge advantages over Apple, which are time and experience. Tesla had 2 decades to build their company to where it is today. Meanwhile, Apple will have to replicate this in a much shorter amount of time. And when you consider the fact that their product won't be released for another 3 years at the very least, it makes their chances against Tesla look quite slim. Also, Tesla has decades of experience in this industry and will be able to avoid pitfalls that Apple will likely run into. Overall, Tesla looks like it has yet to even scratch its potential, despite already controlling most of the electric vehicle market. It is also unlikely that Apple will have an answer for the Tesla Roadster, which from what we already know will be something of a supercar. The futuristic Roadster will have a breathtaking aesthetic and the performance to back up its price. It will be able to travel 620 miles without needing to be recharged. To put this into perspective, the car can be driven from London to Paris and back on a single charge. The all-wheel drive car can go from 0 to 100 miles per hour in 4.2 seconds. It is hard to see how Apple can compete with this anytime soon. By the time Apple launches their first electric car, Tesla will likely have released more products that will be superior to the Roadster. Apple has expressed their interest in electric vehicles for some time now, and the current Apple CEO Tim Cook confirmed in 2017 that the company was working on autonomous systems for vehicles. Cook referred to cars as the mother of all AI projects. Many times in the past, Apple has achieved a second-mover advantage. It has done this in smartphones, tablets, MP3 players, and is now trying to do this in electric vehicles. Apple views the EV industry as a trillion-dollar opportunity and have put in a tremendous amount of work into a product that they believe will be the holy grail of electric vehicles. Apple has some clear advantages over Tesla that could give them an edge over the car company. They are superior in content, virtual and augmented reality, and they know how to make their products work together cohesively. However, Tesla has the advantage in manufacturing and robotics autonomy, as well as in energy storage. Until Apple releases their product, it will be difficult to predict how the company will fare against Tesla. Musk doesn't share the belief that Apple can be a threat to Tesla's monopoly.
Do you see Apple building a car and that maybe being a threat to you?
I would encourage more participation by whoever it is to create electric vehicles. It's quite hard to do, but I think companies like Apple will probably make a compelling electric car.
He has also expressed distaste at Apple's relentless attempts to recruit Tesla staff. This has become such a trend that the employees at Tesla have coined a term for the phenomenon, referring to Apple as the Tesla graveyard. Apple hired former Tesla Senior VP of Engineering Doug Field, and this is one of many Tesla staff that Apple has lured away from Tesla. Apple also hired former Tesla engineer Christopher Moore in order to boost its car development efforts. Apple is also working towards its own breakthrough battery technology. Musk wasted no time in calling Apple out for hiring former Tesla employees and pointing out how flawed Apple's workforce is. Musk dismissed the idea that Apple was stealing Tesla's most important engineers and refused to acknowledge that such a thing was even possible. He asserted that Apple has become a home for engineers that were fired from Tesla. Musk pointed out that Apple has only been able to hire employees that Tesla had already fired, and asserted that Apple has not hired any of Tesla's important engineers, and stated that Tesla employees that go to Apple only do so because they were not successful at Tesla. Elon believes that Apple isn't prepared for the complexity involved in building an electric car. However, he does believe that Apple will eventually present an important innovation in the industry. Musk believes that a number of Chinese startups in the industry with billion-dollar fundings are the only companies that present a threat. But the rivalry doesn't end there. There are rumors that Elon Musk has secretly been working on a Tesla phone that will sweep the iPhone completely off the market. Elon's idea of what a phone should be is notably unconventional. The Neuralink CEO has decided that the typical phone is a thing of the past and that Neuralinks are the future. So the Tesla phone will likely come to be a device that works in conjunction with Neuralinks, making Elon's dream of turning the human race into a community of high-intelligent and super-productive cyborgs a reality. If Elon succeeds, there is no doubt that the iPhone will become obsolete. The outcome of this Cold War between Apple and Tesla may lead to one of the largest creations and transfers of value across industries ever seen.